138. A law shall regulate the mode and grade by which the Supreme Court of Justice shall take cognizance of the cases comprehended in this section. Section 4th of the mode of judging the members of the Supreme Court. 139. In order to judge the members of the Supreme Court, the House of Representatives shall elect, voting by states, in the first month of the ordinary sessions of each biennial, 24 individuals not appertaining to the General Congress, and who shall possess the qualifications required for judges of the Supreme Court. From these there shall be elected by lot an Attorney General, and an equal number of judges equal to that which composes the first hall of the court. And whenever it may be necessary the same house shall proceed, and in its recess, the Council of Government, draw in the same manner judges of the other halls. Section 5th of the Circuit Courts. 140. The Circuit Court shall be composed of a judge of the law and a prosecuting attorney, both appointed by the supreme executive power, proposed by the Supreme Court, and 2 associate judges, as the law may prescribe. 141. In order to be a circuit judge it is necessary to be a citizen of the Federation, and 30 years of age. 142. To those tribunals corresponds the cognizance of admiralty cases, captures by sea and land, contraband, crimes committed on the high sea, offenses against the United Mexican States, cases of consuls, and civil cases, whose value exceeds $500, and in which the Federation are interested. By a law, shall be designated the number of these tribunals, their respective jurisdictions, the mode, form, and grade in which they must exercise their powers in these and other matters which come under the cognizance of the Supreme Court of Justice. Section 6 of the District Courts. 143. The United Mexican States shall be divided into a certain number of districts, and in each one of which there shall be a tribunal presided by a judge of the law, which shall take cognizance without appeal of all civil cases in which the Federation is interested, the amount of which does not exceed $500, and shall have original jurisdiction in all cases in which the circuit courts have appellate jurisdiction. 144. In order to be a district judge, it is necessary to be a citizen of the United Mexican States, and 25 years of age. The judges shall be appointed by the President, proposed by the Supreme Court. Section 7th. General rules to which all the states and territories in the Federation shall conform in the administration of justice. 145. In each one of the states of the Federation, full faith and credit shall be given to the acts, registers, and proceedings of the judges and other authorities of the other states. The General Congress shall regulate the laws by which said acts, registers, and proceedings shall be authenticated. 146. The sentence of infamy shall not extend beyond the criminal that may have merited it according to law. 147. There is forever prohibited the penalty of confiscation of estates. 148. There is forever prohibited all judgments by commission, and all retroactive laws. 149. No authority shall apply any form of torture, whatever may be the nature or state of the prosecution. 150. No one shall be imprisoned unless there is reasonable ground to suppose him criminal. 151. No one shall be imprisoned on suspicion for more than 70 hours. 152. No authority shall give an order for the search of any houses, papers, and other effects of the inhabitants of the Republic, except in the cases expressly provided for by law, and in the form which it designates. 153. No inhabitant of the Republic shall be compelled to take an oath relative to his own acts in criminal affairs. 154. The military and ecclesiastics will remain subject to the authority under which they actually are, according to the existing laws. 155. No suit can be instituted, neither in civil or criminal cases, for injuries, without being able to prove having legally attempted the means of conciliation. 156. None can be deprived of the right of terminating his differences by means of arbitrators appointed by each party, whatever may be the situation of the controversy. Title 6, Section 1 of the Individual Government of the States. 157. The government of each state shall be divided for its exercise in 3 powers, legislative, executive, and judicial, and never can be united 2 or more of these in one corporation or person, nor the legislative deposited in one individual. 158. The legislative power of each state shall reside in one legislature, composed of the number of individuals which their respective constitutions may determine, to be elected popularly, and removable in the time and manner which said constitutions may designate. 159. The person or persons to whom the states confide their executive power cannot exercise it except for a definite time, which shall be fixed by their respective constitutions. 160. The judicial power of each state shall be exercised by the tribunals that the Constitution may establish or designate, and all cases, civil or criminal, which appertain to the cognizance of those tribunals, shall be conducted in them to final judgment and execution. Section 2 of the Obligations of the States. 161. Each one of the states is obliged, first, to organize its interior government and administration without opposing this Constitution, nor the Constitutional Act. Second, to publish by means of their governors their respective constitutions, laws, and decrees. Third, to obey, and cause to be obeyed, the Constitution and general laws of the Union, and treaties made, and those that henceforward may be made, by the supreme authority of the Federation, with any foreign power. Fourth, to protect its inhabitants in the free use and liberty which they have to write, print, and publish their political ideas, without the necessity of license, revision, or approbation previous to publication, always taking care to observe the general laws on the subject. Fifth, to deliver immediately the criminals of other states to the authority which reclaims them. Sixth, to deliver the fugitives of other states to the person that justly reclaims them, or compel them in some other mode to satisfy the interested party. Seventh, to contribute for the consolidation and extinguishment of the debts acknowledged by the General Congress. Eighth, to remit annually to each one of the houses of Congress a general, circumstantial, and comprehensive note of the ingress and egress in all the treasuries they may have in their respective districts, with a relation of the origin of one and the other of the situation in which are found the branches of industry, agriculture, commerce, and manufactures, of the new branches of industry which they can introduce and extend, designating the means by which it can be obtained, and of their respective population and means of protecting and augmenting it. Ninth, to remit to both houses, and in their recess, to the Council of Government, and likewise to the Supreme Executive Power, authorize copies of the constitutions, laws, and decrees. Section 3. Restrictions of the powers of the state. 162. None of the states can first establish, without the consent of the General Congress, any tonnage duty, nor other port duty. Second, impose, without the consent of the General Congress, contributions or duties on importations or exportations, whilst the law does not regulate it, as it must do. Third, hold, at no time, a permanent troop nor vessels of war, without the consent of the General Congress. Fourth, enter into no agreement or compact with any foreign power, nor declare war against them, resisting in case of actual invasion, or in such danger as will not admit of delay, giving immediate notice thereof to the President of the Republic. Fifth, enter into no agreement or compact with other states of the Federation, without the previous consent of the General Congress, or its posterior approbation, if the transaction were upon the regulation of limits. Title 7th, only section of the observance, interpretation, and amendment of the Constitution and Constitutional Act. 163. Every public functionary, without exception to the class, previous to entering on the discharge of his duties, must take the oath to obey the Constitution and Constitutional Act. 164. The Congress shall dictate all laws and decrees which they may deem necessary to render effective the responsibility of those who violate this Constitution or the Constitutional Act,